Thank you so much for inviting me for this. I think it's going to be a great time. Like you said, about 45 minutes to an hour. But then within this time, what I'll be doing would be to really just break down these tools and how they can be used for actual business functions. Time I think at this moment, as at this time that we're recording this, I would say that the usage of AI tools are quite high. However, the usage that translates to actual business results is still lingering because people do not know how to use it in a way that can create actual measurable results in what they're doing. So that's what I'll be trying to do in this session. I had put some things together in some sort of a presentation, so I'll just share that to confirm if you can see my slide at the moment.
Yes, I can see it perfectly.
All right, all right, perfect. Good. So I'll be looking at some AI tools for basic business functions and everyday productivity. And in fact, even using AI tools for basic business functions on its own is literally helping out with your own productivity. So this is me, Ms. Fii Stephens. For those that will be watching this that do not know me, I am an AI consultant. I'm certified by IBM in generative AI. I am AI for marketing certified by Davidson College in North Carolina, USA. I am an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure certified generative AI professional. My background is in marketing. I've done about over 8 years in marketing before adding on AI into that. Last year, I founded the AI Literacy Academy, started very early last year. I've done, give or take, over 900 people, professionals have gone through the academy as of now. And we recently got funded by MasterCard Foundation to help move our work forward. I'm also a growth and digital marketing professional. I am certified by Meta along multiple pathways. I'm a LinkedIn marketing insider. I'm certified by Smethurn as a business development service provider. I have a postgraduate diploma in computer science. I have an MBA with a marketing specialization from the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria. Earlier this year, I started my executive MBA with the Quantic School of Business and Technology in Washington, D.C. in the United States. I'm also a graduate of the AI Founder Sprint from the Institute Business School in Fontainebleau, France. And sometime last month, I became a research group member with the Center for AI and Digital Policy in the United States. So this is just a bit about me, just to give some context of the experience or the wealth of experience with which I was sharing these things with you,
This
and
is
to
a
just get
heavy
the
CV fee. This is not a small CV. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you. So yeah, so this is just a bit of what yeah, the experience I'll be sharing from, just to make sure that you know the kind of value you're about to get. I'll try and keep it as simple as possible. That's my goal for this session, to make it as simple as possible so that literally anybody can pick this up and just begin to use it and see actual results. So it will be very practical, to lean more towards practical, but I'll call it a systemized practical. All right, so let's just go right into it. I added this quote at the beginning. AI is most useful when you attach it to a business function, not when you collect tools randomly. So it got to a time where a lot of people are just asking, what tool can I use for this? What tool can I use for that? And people are listing, oh, 10 tools that you can use to create images, 17 tools you can use to create this. Now, having a good idea of all the tools that exist, and there are lots of them right now, doesn't give you the highest or the best possible use case of AI. However, when you're able to attach AI to a business function, then that's when you get the kind of results you're looking out for. All right. And that's what we'll be doing in this session. We'll be attaching AI to business functions and then showing you the tools you can use. And we're really going to not do a lot of tools just to make sure that we are more directed towards results than towards, you having an avalanche of tools. All right. So there are three business pillars. When I think about business, and I've done this a number of times, anytime I go into an organization as an AI consultant and they say, okay, Fee, come and help us see how to implement AI and what we do. The first thing I try to look at is to try and differentiate that organization into segments or pillars. I try to break it down because that's the way to know where the AI use case is. And even in a small business, even in a startup, right? Your business can be broken down into pillars. And if you want to use AI effectively, do not think about how do I use AI in my business. That's very broad, that's very vague, and there's a very high chance that you just be overwhelmed and you won't get anything done. Think about it across these pillars I'm about to share. Think about it in this way that I'm about to share with you, and then you will see really good results from it. So there are three major business pillars. One of them, by the way, this is like a building with three pillars. Very interesting building. Yeah, hopefully no architect draws this type of building for you, but that's fine.
No,
So
the building is looking good.
exactly. So if you notice the business is the roof of this building, that would mean that without these three pillars, there's a very high chance that that business is going to crash without the three pillars. In fact, sometimes even though it's the pillar at the middle that is missing, in this case, in this are figurative building, the business may still have issues. The best way that any business at all, and when I talk about those pillars, you understand what I mean. The best way that any business is going to see any sort of good results generally is if these three pillars are solid and there's progress on each of them. So the first pillar, very quickly, is product, the pillar of product. And for the product pillar, product is about what you offer. As simple as this has become a reason why a lot of businesses crash. There's a very high chance that what you're selling is not what the market wants. If your product is not solid enough, if your offer, sometimes it's even not just the product, but the offer, because your offer is a version of your product that is most desirable to the target consumer, to the target audience. So for some of you, it's not that you don't have a good product, it's that you've not been able to turn that product into an offer. So I have a marketing background, so I can talk to this a bit, right? And AI can help you with this. AI can help you go from having a product to having an offer. An offer is a product that is packaged, a product that has not just the core product in itself, but has several things around it that makes it more desirable, more attractive for someone to want to make a purchase. So that's what an offer is. So the first pillar is your product, how good, how needed, how solid, how quality that product is vis-a-vis the needs of the market. That's the first pillar of a good business, a solid business. The second pillar is operations. No matter how great your product is, if your operations is not working well, I can tell you that that business is on its way to going down. What is operations? Operations is how you deliver, how you fulfill, how you manage your business. That's operations. How do you deliver? So now someone has come and made a payment. How do you deliver that product or service? By the way, your product can also be a service, right? There are services that are productized. But how do you deliver it? If you consistently deliver your product, no matter how good the product is, if your method of delivery is consistently weak, is consistently below par, is consistently annoying, what would happen is I can assure you that that customer that you treated badly would tell another seven before know what's happening. You're not in business anymore. So your operations has to be solid. How do you deliver what you have promised? How do you fulfill what you have promised? And delivery in this case is not, I don't mean by using a courier, right, or a delivery service. Delivery here means how do you make sure that what you said you would do, you did, right? What's your delivery like? For example, at the AI Literacy Academy, right, we have an entire learning management system through which we deliver the academy. We could have used any other thing, right? We could have used different other methods. And, of course, we considered that, right? But because of, the level of work we needed to do, we created some sort of elements, right? We did not need to start from there, right? There are several other ways to deliver, but just use the way that works with you, with your business at this level. Now, not everybody needs to start with an LMS, right? But just be very clear about your delivery for this stage of your business. Be clear about it. How do you manage your business? What's your finances like? How do you manage your financial records? Are you able to separate your business finance, your personal finance? Now, this is almost sounding like a business class. I need to get into AI very soon, but I'm emphasizing on this well because this is actually the foundation of you being able to use AI properly. It has to be across these pillars, right? So the pillar of products, the pillar of operations. Now, let me move very quickly to the third pillar, which is the pillar of marketing. The pillar of marketing. If you have a very solid product, a good offer, your operations is tight, but you do not market. That means people don't know about what you're selling. I can tell you that this business will crash. That's why I told you that no matter what you're doing, if there's any of those pillars that are not good, the business is on its way to going down. Because marketing is making sure, and let me just put that there. Marketing is how you attract, how you convert, and how you retain customers. That's what marketing is. If you're in business and you're not attracting new customers, what are you doing? What kind of business is that? You want to be selling to the same two, three people? Except you're in a very, very, very high net worth plus recurring payment business. Even in that type of situation, you don't want to put yourself at a key man risk. You need to be sure that no day passes by without you taking an action that helps you attract at least one new customer. We run ads every day because of this reason, right? Because we want to attract us. It doesn't mean that it's every day that people buy from us, no. But every day there's an attempt to open our shop. If it's a physical store, you won't say that because nobody bought from me yesterday, you're not open today. No. If nobody bought from you yesterday, by not opening today, you are ensuring that nobody buys from you today. At least if you open, there's a chance that they could buy or not buy, right? But any day you don't open, you're ensuring that they don't buy.
Sorry, Fee, I wanted to jump in here and ask a quick question. So
Mhm,
I found it really interesting what you've just said. So what you're saying is that it's important for businesses, like when, because I know with running ads, sometimes, businesses think, okay, we'll run ads maybe around Black Friday or around
mhm,
maybe Easter or certain, times of the year where people are more inclined to spend. But
mhm.
your thinking on this is that ads should be run consistently, regardless of the time of year. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, that's it. So now this is it, right? There are seasonal offers, but then there should be offers that can go on at any time of the year. And budgets can vary across this period. So I would recommend that in your business, in every business, right, get an offer that is not tied to a season. Some people do free delivery offers. Some people do offers. They could even add the delivery cost inside of the total cost of the product because that's how it should be. Both your delivery cost and your marketing cost. This is another thing I think I should add here. The cost of your ads or your marketing should be included in the cost of your product. So if your product hit that before this time was 15,000 naira, and you're willing to spend, say, 3,000 naira to get one customer, if it's possible, I would recommend, if you're not in a business line that's maybe there are very fixed prices across board, if you're in a business line that allows you to set your price, I would highly recommend that you instead increase your price to 18,000 naira and then know that for every unit you sell, that 3,000 naira extra is not for you to go and flex. No, it's now is your marketing cost. So if you spend less than 3K to get one customer, that excess is not to be spent. No, it's still marketing costs. You keep it aside. So for every unit of product sold pays for its own marketing that way. So there should be a margin in the cost of in your pricing, yeah, not the cost now, the pricing of your product that allows for marketing. And if you want to do free delivery, add it there and just make it a bulk price, 20,000 naira for this product, free delivery. Why you've added a 2K free delivery on it plus a 3,000 naira marketing cost. So if you do it this way, you're not looking out for where would I get budget from? No, you already know that if any of these products is sold, one unit of sale pays for the marketing for literally that day. So if for example you've put a marketing addition of like 2,000 naira per unit of your product, you know that if you're spending 5K a day to run ads, you need to sell just 3 units of that product for you to cover the marketing cost for that day because 2K times 3 is 6,000 naira. So definitely there should be offers that can go out every time. And then that can run with it can run with what I call a maintenance budget, sometimes 10,000 naira, sometimes 5,000 naira, depending on the total cost of the products and a lot of factors. There are a lot of factors involved to choose what the maintenance budget should be, including how much margin you've added on your cost, your pricing of the product for marketing. But definitely maintenance budgets should run across along every single time. All right. And then during those special seasons, yes, you can then increase budget and then you can, switch the offer up a bit. So yeah, that's what I'll say to that. More, yeah. So, but marketing,
Thank you for clarifying that.
all right, yeah. So, but marketing is how you attract and not just attract, convert, that means making them to buy and then retain, making them stay with you. That's like marketing. And AI, when you want to think about how do I use AI for my business, you need to think about it across these pillars. Is when you think about it across pillars that you begin to see clearly and even more practically how to use one about to share. So now that I've established this, we're then going to go ahead and begin to look at the AI tools and go a bit more practical. And I wrote something down here that if your business is not growing, there's a very high chance that one of these parts is broken. and I'm assuming that nobody's following from your village and all, but yeah, if your business is not growing, it's most likely one of these three parts, right? It's nothing diabolical, hopefully, yeah. But I'm just joking. So product operations and marketing, if the three of them are working well, it's difficult for your business to not work well. Your product is solid, people are looking for it, people like it, people need it. Your operations is good, your marketing is great, your business will do well. All right, good. So let's now move on. So think about your current business. Can you clearly identify what you sell? Can you clearly identify how you deliver it? Can you clearly identify how you get the word out every single day? If you can do this, you're good to go. Now that we've done this, we can now start the practical for the next, for take around 25 minutes thereabouts, hopefully, and we will be done. All right, good. So these are the tools we're using for this practical session. We use ChatGPT. We use, sometimes we use Claude, most likely, and then Perplexity. But we'll use more of ChatGPT, right? More of ChatGPT, a bit of Claude here and there, then Perplexity maybe once or twice. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the product function or the product pillar. Now, when it comes to the product pillar, these are some functions that can happen with AI or some functions that happen in the product pillar that you can use AI to support. So AI is like it assists you do the things that you are already supposed to do. So when it comes to the product is about improving what the business sells, what's the offer, right? That's like what product is about. And the things that can happen under the product pillar are idea generation. For you to have a product, you must have the product idea. Some people don't have that idea. If you have it, that's amazing. You can use AI to improve the offer of the idea or to brainstorm the idea. So think about it as either idea generation or even idea brainstorming. There's sometimes that you have an idea, but you have to brainstorm with it. Now, let me probably ask this question. So if you have a business idea before AI started, if you have a business idea, what would you do? Would you not maybe call that intelligent friend of yours, maybe someone that you know that has sense, right? Hopefully all your friends have sense. But I'm just saying that you call someone that you think is business savvy and tell the person, oh, this is a business I have in mind. What do you think about it? Right? That's what you do before now. But now think about it that now you have AI that if your friend's business knowledge came from books, right? I know there's the experience layer there, but if it came from books and things like that, business school, I can assure you that AI will be more intelligent than your most intelligent friend because AI has read more business books than that your friend. AI has gone through more business lessons than that your friend. AI has access to all the business, everything in the world than that your friend. So while it's okay to still call your friend, you now have something else that you can brainstorm your idea with. That is how AI helps your business idea generation or at least brainstorming. So that's one function of that product. This is something that can help your product become better. There are people that have improved the quality of their product just by running that same product, brainstorming on how it can be better with AI. Right? People that already had existing products, they improved it by telling AI, oh, this is what my product is like right now. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. This is what the delivery is like. Maybe it's a service. This is how we currently do our service. Um, can you tell me opportunities for improvements? And AI will recommend things, and you're like, oh my God, like I didn't even think about this. This has happened over and over again. So that's one way to use AI. There's also offer development. Let's say you have a product, but you've not created an offer. AI can help you with that. Packaging and naming, AI can help you with that. Pricing, AI can help you analyze what the average price is for that product along the industry. It's best you verify that, of course, but these days it's getting fairly more accurate, right? AI can help you with customer objection handling, can help you with feedback analysis. These are examples of product functions. But let's make this a bit more practical. Now, I'm going to do a demo now, and I'll be sharing my other screen because now we're about to demo offer improvements. So let's assume that you have a product, you have a service. The business problem here is that you have a service or product, but the way that you currently describe it is unclear. And because it's unclear, customers always come back. They keep asking basic questions before buying. Now, if you have this business problem before now, the manual way to go about solving this problem is you sit down and start thinking, how do I rewrite this my offer myself? Or maybe you get to ask a friend, or probably you go and hire a copywriter and pay the person 200,000 naira or 150,000 naira or 500,000 naira, depending on the level of the person's skills, right? This is how you would have gone about it before now. But the AI way is that you paste your current offer to ChatGPT, and you ask it to pressure test it, that means to see ways to improve it. This is the current AI way. So we're going to do it the AI way together. Are we ready for that? So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to use this. This is a prompt example. And by the way, when I teach,
Yes, go please. Sorry. Yes.
okay, okay, all right, good. So when I teach, I try not to box people at the moment into using the exact prompts that I use. Rather, I tell you the concept around writing a prompt, and I allow you to write your prompt freely, right? Your prompt doesn't have to be an exact replica of this. But let me tell you what's happening here. Here, there's a role. The role here, there's something called the role. The role is you're giving AI a persona. You're having AI to act as or act in a particular persona. You're giving the role of a business strategist. Here, you can give it the role of a, I don't know, an operations person. You can give it the role of an analyst. You can give it different kinds of roles. But this is you giving AI a role, act as a business strategist. So it's okay to give AI a role. Because I've built a number of tools using AI, and one thing I've noticed is that when AI is creating a system prompt for itself, there's something called a system prompt. Let me see if I can explain this. Uh, Give me a second. So a system prompt is a kind of a prompt that gives AI tools or gives AI systems instructions on how to behave, like how to act in certain situations. That's what a system prompt is. A system prompt is something that is being used repeatedly by AI system. All right. So that's what a system prompt is. And I noticed that for system prompts, AI by itself, because AI generates prompts for itself sometimes if you're building using AI, right? It generates the prompts by itself. And even when it's generating prompt for itself, it uses a role. That would mean that adding a role can, to an extent, elevate the quality of responses. Now, without a role, you'll still get a response, but it is best practice for now. And I use for now because AI is changing fast. In fact, prompt engineering generally right now is not as deterministic as it was before. And I'll explain what that means. Prompt engineering is not as do or die an affair as it was at the early stages. Right now, even with prompts that are not very, I'll use the word solid, you still get good results. Why? Because the system themselves have become more intelligent, right? But it's still good to have a good idea of what a good prompt should look like. So it should ideally should have a role. There are sometimes you don't give it a role, and that's fine. Sometimes I do prompts that I don't give it a role, and it works depending on what you're trying to create, right? Second thing is context. Context is giving AI an idea of what's happening right now. Give it information. Why are you asking me this, right? What's the situation at this moment that is bringing up this request or this demand? Give it as much information as you can. The more the context, the more AI can know, can deliver a result that is more high quality, right? So that's the second thing, the context. The third thing is the task itself. The task, what do you want me to do? That's what the task is. What do you want me to do? And then the last one is I call it the outputs. It can be the format or the output. What are the constraints? What are the things that should be in the output? How should the output be structured? Are there some things that must be there? Are there some things that must not be there? That's output. So I talked about the role, I've talked about the context, I've talked about the task, I've talked about the outputs. This is a simple formula you can use for creating prompts. The role here, for example, is act as a business strategist. The context is the offer. This is my current offer. And also the target customer is part of the context. Now, you see, I want you to do four things. Now you're giving the task. First, identify what is unclear or weak. Second, suggest a stronger structure. Third, list the top three objections a customer would have. Fourth, write the offer in a simpler, more compelling language. All right, so this is what we're going to do. So now let's do this practically. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to share another of my screens so that we can enter into a more practical session. I'm hoping this is the screen I want to share. Is it? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go to a tool called ChatGPT. Some of you may know that tool. ChatGPT. I'll come and I'll copy. You're not seeing what I'm copying right now, but I'm copying that prompt you just saw. But before I even use that prompt, we need an offer. So how do we get an offer? Let's allow ChatGPT to load. I'm going to try and get an offer that we're going to improve. We want to improve an offer, right? So I just opened Gemini. Gemini is another tool, or let me just use Perplexity since I mentioned Perplexity earlier. So let me use Perplexity. This is Perplexity. All right. All right, good. So I'll use Perplexity for this. Now, what I want to get from Perplexity is an offer that we can improve. So I'll just say, get me the offer for
Sorry, can I
let
ask a
me
quick question before we go
let's
into
go ahead.
Perplexity? So
Yeah.
what is like the main difference between Perplexity and ChatGPT? Like what makes Perplexity better than ChatGPT for some things, and then ChatGPT better than Perplexity for other things?
All right, thank you. So, 1 year ago, the differences were quite very, like it was distinct, but I'll say that at this moment it's very blurred, or rather it's very thin because these tools have both of them have so much improved that their abilities to a large extent are really similar. However, when it comes to things around research, when it comes to things around getting information from certain kinds of sources, right, Perplexity for now is still better, especially things that concern social media sources. For example, if I click on this plus sign here and I go to more, or rather, and I go to connectors and sources, you can see that it has specific sources like social. So Activate Social is able to pull information from Facebook, from Instagram, from social media platforms. I can activate, Google Drive. I can activate quite a number of these things as connectors. Now, why I say that this is a bit blurred is, I can even activate academic, right? It's also research and things like that. Why I say it's gotten a bit blurred is because now tools like Claude also have connectors that allows you to connect with some things. Although Claude still has a bit of an issue accessing some social media platforms because big tech to an extent there's an invisible battle for AI among big tech. So at the moment, I can say for sure that Anthropic hasn't gotten the access it needs to get certain kinds of details or certain kinds of depths from platforms like Facebook because Meta has not given them that. Because so if you try and do some kinds of research, it's not everything. If it's a research that's a heavy part of what you need from social media, it's better you use Perplexity or you use a tool called Grok. And I don't want to give a lot of tools, but I would say it depends on the use case because Grok is owned by X. If the source of your research has a lot to do with X, then you should be using Grok because Grok is what has the highest amount of access to X. That's formerly Twitter. Okay, so I would say Perplexity is great for research. If you want to do some research, right? It's amazing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, cool. So I'm going to use Perplexity to try and because I'm trying to do some research here. So I'm thinking of a business. So I'm getting the offer, for example, for and let me use a business as a use case. For example, let me use Dang products, right? So I think I know about Dang. Dang is in skincare, interestingly, because I do not think I've ever used a Dang product, but why not? Let's explore it together. All right. So yeah. So this is like Dang, right? So for Dang, we're trying to get let me get the products themselves. Um, me a list of the top products. So I'm trying to get the offer. So there's like it's giving me some research. So there's no one single offer for all Dang products, but Dang Lifestyle currently runs a few overlapping deals. So these are some deals that are currently, I think, active. So, third party coupon recycling. I'm just trying to get a product. So this is a product called Beauty Water Toner. Now I'm really thinking that I should have used a product example that I would be able to talk about more. And I think I'll do that. Let me switch to food because I don't know much about skincare, but I'm going to switch to a food example very quickly to keep me very focused on this session. So get me the offer for let me just use Chicken Republic, for example. I want to use a brand that a lot of people know. It's easy to relate to. Probably
Yeah,
just
I
use
think we
Chicken
all know Chicken Republic.
here. So I'm going to use Chicken Republic here. Yeah. So let me just use this um to get this for me. Now, what we're trying to do is there's a prompt that we're trying to have AI act as a business strategist and for it to work on our offer, right? So Trade Republic in Nigeria features ongoing value meals and this. This is, current promotions and all. So I'm going to just copy this. I'll just copy this. Um, for example, probably just let me just use the first two options. All right, and then I'll take to ChatGPT. I'm going to paste this here. However, before I paste this, I'll copy that prompt that we had looked at from from my slide. I'm just going to copy that prompt and I'll paste it here. Now, this is the reason why I don't want you to be stuck onto a template. Because now, for example, I can change this to, instead of here's my current offer, I can say my current offer is below. I can I can decide to remove target customer. I can tell it research my target customer. That means I want it to do the work. Let's say that I don't have my target customer yet. I don't know them. Research my target customer, right? Then I want you to do four things, right? So this is the offer down here that I've pasted, and then I would click on send. Now, what ChatGPT will do is that it's going to carry out this task that I've given it. Um, so what's unclear or weak about this? So currently, it doesn't feel like an offer. It feels like information, which is true. Just like informing you that this. There's no core promise. An offer should say, what do I get and why should I care? Right now, it says, yeah, prices, yeah, discount, but not, save time, save money, eat better, convenience. Um, there's no differentiation. It's too feature heavy, not benefit driven. No urgency or trigger. So now they're trying to suggest something stronger, right, for the offer. So can you see? Speak directly, the hook, speak directly to a real life moment. When you're tired, hungry, and you don't want to cook, get a full meal for under 4,000 naira delivered already in minutes, right? You know, the core offer, what exactly they get, simple, clear, no overload, value justification. Why is this a good deal? Can you say this? So, top three customer objections. Is this really enough food? Because in Nigeria, value is equal to portion size plus satisfaction, which is, true. If I ask my Nigerian friends, they may confirm, they may confirm that. Number two, is it actually cheaper than alternatives? Like alternatives are not just other restaurants, right? Alternative can be cooking, it can be street food, it can be other fast food, right? So if the savings are not obvious, offer may lose, right? Is the app discounts worth the stress? Is it, the discount they get on the app, is it worth the stress of downloading a new app, signing up, and delivery fees and all those things? These are some things you have to consider. Can you say this? So now, ChatGPT has given us another kind of offer. So eat well without stressing your wallet. When you're too busy or tired to cook, you don't have to overspend to eat a proper meal. With Chicken Republic's value meal, you can get a feeding combo. You can see they're giving you the exact things you get: chicken, rice or sides, and a drink for as low as 3,600, often even cheaper with 20 to 40% discount on apps. Whether it's a quick breakfast or a full lunch, these meals are designed to give you enough food to satisfy you, better price than most fast food options, the convenience of ordering from apps. So you can see that it has created an offer that is more solid than what was here before, that you can then begin to use as a base, all right, for most of your marketing material. So this is you working on your products, trying to make the offer stronger so that imagine you're someone that is the target audience of this product. Just by reading this, you already want to make a purchase. Why? Because they have used AI to improve the offer. They've used AI to sometimes even create the offer. This is one use case that is coming from the product side of things. All right. And that's why what I'm trying to do is quite important. Like I'm trying to take it one product at a time. So I'm going to go back to my slide, and this is an action point for you, right? You need to take your best-selling product or service. You need to paste the current description of that product or service into ChatGPT with the prompt that I shared, or at least something similar. Read the objections list that is there, fix your offer, or your pitch before your next sales conversation. This is important. This is something that you need to do. And this is how you can use AI as a part of your product. Can you see how like you can almost measure the value of this? You can almost touch and say that, okay, this is going to add something to my business. This will be how to use AI in a way that can truly be measurable. A second demo very quickly is for customer feedback analysis. So you want to improve what the business is selling, you want to improve your product. You can actually use AI. The business problem here is that you have customer complaints or you have customer reviews that are maybe sitting in a spreadsheet somewhere, or you have WhatsApp messages on your WhatsApp, you have emails, and you've not done anything with these things. The manual way is that you go through these messages one by one, you go through the emails one by one, and try and spot out, what are they complaining about, what are they praising, what are they saying we're doing well. You want to spot it out by yourself. That's the manual way, but that's the old way. Current way right now is the AI way, which is you paste 10 to 20 of these reviews, put them together and then ask AI to find patterns among them. right? So let's do something very quickly. This is a prompt example. We're going to give AI some customer complaints from the last 3 months. We'll paste it and tell AI to group them into themes, to rank the themes by frequency, and for each theme, suggest one specific action that can be taken to fix it. So let's do this practically. I'm going to share, my browser screen one more time. I think this is where we were. Good. And probably let me introduce a tool that I talked about earlier. I mentioned that when it comes to Twitter, if you want to get details from Twitter, it's best to use a tool called Grok, right? GROK. So I'm going to tell Twitter to give me customer feedback and reviews for, let's think of any brand. Let's use Oraimo, for example. Oraimo is popular in Nigeria for the past 3 months, right? So, all right, so let me use expert mode. Let me send this. Now, it's going to think about this request. It's going to do some research. What you will see here is that it's trying to get research from different places, Jumia, Trustpilot, X, trying to get different feedback from different places. But what we're trying to do is trying to get feedback. Now, the real use case here is for you need to have feedback from your customers. Maybe they've reached out to you on WhatsApp, maybe they've reached out to you through your feedback form, and you have those feedback. The reason why I'm trying to do this is because I'm trying to get sample feedback we can use to do this practically, all right, in this class. So we're going to allow this run, and I'm just trying to explain why we're having to do this, all right? So this should be done in a few seconds. So while that is going on, I'm actually going to go ahead and copy the prompts from my slide, and I will go to ChatGPT once again. Let me create a new chat this time, and I'll paste that prompt here. I'll change this to customer complaints from the last 3 months. I'll change this to below. All right, so I'll change this from customer complaints to customer feedback. All right, because I asked for feedback, not complaints. So can you see this? That's brought out the feedback for me. So there's positive feedback, there's negative feedback. I wish I could get the exact feedback because this is already a summary, right? Let me ask for the exact feedback. I want to get the exact feedback, what people are saying and who is saying it. Let me see if I can get that because that's more similar to what you would have. You would have a feedback from an actual customer saying something, right? So that's what we want to paste, okay? So let's see if we can get that. We'll allow this to run for a bit. It may need more research, but let's allow that to happen. But I hope you're already getting the concept here that if you want to get the best value from using AI for your business, think about it in terms of the pillars and the functions under the pillar. What function do I want to do today? What function do I need to do right now to help my business perform better under this pillar? And then how can AI help me do this? Now that's the way to think about it so that your results from AI can be measurable. And in fact, let me just talk a bit about measuring your I'll call it return on investment from using AI. There are three major metrics to use to measure your return on investment from AI. The first metric is what is called time metrics. Time metrics. So time metrics is, are you saving more time? Is there something that you were doing in 4 hours that you're not doing in 30 minutes? Is there something you were doing in 1 hour that you're not doing in 10 minutes? Are you saving time? That's the first metric. Are things being done faster? So you need to measure. If things are done faster, then your return on investments can be measured by time. The second way to measure metrics, and by the way, our feedback is here, but let me just run through this. There are just three. Second way to measure your return on investment from using AI is called money metrics. Money metrics. Are you making more money than you were making before you started using AI? For me, it's 100% yes, right? So how are you able to measure what you were earning for your business before versus when you started using AI, right? That's money metric. And the third metric, so we can get back into this, is quality metrics. What's the quality of your work right now compared to before you started using AI? All right, good. So now we have feedback here and there. Quite a number of feedback here. I'm just going to copy all of them. Let me even copy from here. Okay, and I'll add it here. I'll just click on copy. So these are the feedback. I'll come and paste it here on ChatGPT, and I'll allow ChatGPT to review them and then do this, which is to group them into themes, rank them by frequency, suggest one specific action I can take to fix it and things like that. So now ChatGPT has run this for us. We have the themes here. There's strong product satisfaction for earbuds and audio devices. Customers are saying is what the price, best sound quality. Insights is that this is most likely your cost, rent, and brand anchor. High perceived value for money, especially in the earbuds. So you can see from your insights, you're already even seeing what products you may need to market more of, right? So you don't struggle, right? Just by using your insights. Can you see? Then you can also use what people are saying to improve your marketing messaging. You can use the feedback from people and use it in your marketing words. If they're saying that they are enjoying the hi-fi sound, put hi-fi sound in your marketing. If they're saying that they like the battery life, run an ad that has to talk about battery life. This is how to use user-generated content to even improve your marketing. But you can learn this from your product itself. We have not even entered marketing, right? So these are what customers are saying. It means that people are not just buying quality, they're buying, the smart spending identity. That means they want to feel like they're spending smartly. Do you understand? The battery life is here, power bank performances. People are saying that, oh, it drains fast. So that means a lot of the negative themes are coming from power bank. Can you say this? Just by doing something like this, AI can help you know which of your products you need to work on more, which of your products needs, can you say this? So yeah,
Yeah, this
it's
is
even,
really helpful.
yeah. It's giving you suggestions on how to fix that. You can fix perception by educating users, by introducing the capacity guarantee that you can guarantee people. Also, it could be that people are selling fake, so you can introduce QR code authentication for genuine units. Can you see how much AI is giving you ideas that you can, if you introduce this, it means that in case those people that are complaining are actually using the fake version of your product, with this, there's now a way to authenticate it so that people are not buying fake and thinking it's real. So these are just examples of this. We have to move on very fast because we are already at our time, but let's just move forward very, very quickly. So these are two ways, right? I'm going to go back to my slide screen, but these are two ways under the product pillar that, these are two functions and the AI tools you can use for that. So action points, go to your reviews, go to your DMs on WhatsApp, go to your support messages, copy 15 to 20 or 100 of your feedback, put it on ChatGPT, and you're going to learn more about your business in 5 minutes than you would have learned by ignoring that feedback for 3 months. Now, let's move on very quickly to the marketing pillar. How can AI help in the marketing pillar? I'll run this through this a bit faster. For marketing pillar, these are some functions that can come up under marketing. There's audience research, there's messaging, there's content ideas, there's social media captions, there's ad copy, there's email drafts. You can use AI for creating of email draft. There's lead magnet ideas. These are different things that can happen under marketing for a business owner. So we're going to take at least one of these. I believe you know what these things mean. You know what social media captions mean. So I'll just move on. So this is a demo. This is a third demo, demo 3, which is how to use AI to create content angles from one product. So the business problem here is you already know that you should post on social media. You are aware. Like nobody's forcing you. You know that this is something I should be doing. But the problem is you run out of ideas of what to post too fast. After just like 2 posts, you're not even sure what to post anymore. Now, the manual way to go about this is you look at your phone, you stare at your phone, you check what your competitors have posted, and then you copy something and then you try and post on your own. And that's the manual way. However, the AI way is that you give AI one of your products and you ask for multiple content angles for that same product. All right. Multiple content angles for that same product. So there are a lot of products that we can use for this, but let's do an example. This is a prompt example we can use for this. So you can say, I sell, this product, whatever the product is, to your audience. Their biggest frustration that if you know it, you can put it there. If you don't, you can have AI get it for you. Give me 7 content ideas I can post on Instagram or LinkedIn this week. For each idea, give me the hook, the angle, the format. Keep the language simple and conversational. This is an example of a prompt. So let's do this practically. Let's go back to our beloved ChatGPT. We're going to try and use a product. Tala, can I use your product here? Let me see.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, good. Let me see if I can get which of them should I use? Should I use Medallion Treasures? What's your favorite? Which one should I use? Should I use this one?
Sorry. Yes, you can. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, great. So we have this product, for example. What I'm going to do is, since I think that ChatGPT may have, but let's even test this practically. I'm going to copy this Instagram link. I'm going to paste it here, and I'll see if ChatGPT has access to view that. If it doesn't, what we can do is we can just print the page and give it to it. So I'll just change this to I sell the product below. Like I said, do not be tied to a template. Just understand what you're trying to do. Do not be tied to a particular prompt and say, this is what I must use. No, just feel free. All right. Feel free and understand what you want to do and give AI prompt. So I tell the prompt below there. We don't know this. So, or rather, right now, I don't know this. So I'm going to remove this line. I'll just say, give me 7 content ideas I can post on Instagram. Let me remove LinkedIn. For each idea, give me the link, the hook, the angle. I'll change this from the formats to the messaging. That's the messaging that is in the, yeah, good. So now let's test if ChatGPT has access to Instagram. Remember what I said before when I was talking about Perplexity? Can you see what's happening? So it's already saying that I couldn't pull the details from your exact page. Now, if I take the same prompt right now and take it to Perplexity and I activate the social feature, this is supposed to work if everything is still as it used to be. So let's try this. Can you see this? Um, so
Oh, amazing. So Perplexity could pull the information, whereas
yeah, yes, and I'm
GPT.
even trying to just confirm this. So you can see 15 sources here, and under the 15 sources, your Instagram is one of it. So this, when you asked about the difference, I try to mention that these are some of the differences between, ChatGPT and Perplexity, right? So some of them have some abilities that others don't. I don't think even Claude has the abilities for now, because of course Meta is also trying to be protective. So you have to, so that they too can have something to win in the race, the air race, at least for now. Allegedly. All right, good. So yeah, so this is you can see this has come up on that Perplexity, even though it didn't come up under ChatGPT. And now we have idea one, unboxing teaser. The hook here is, ever wondered what's inside a box made for just a melanin glow? Then show a quick unboxing video, packed with African skincare. Another idea here is skin glow before and after. Another idea here is perfect gift alert, hair care hack, behind the curates, how I pick the best for your melanin magic and all, short story review, and this quick tutorial, community shout outs. These are 7
So
ideas.
good,
So
by the way, Fee. Thank you. You've done my social media marketing for me for the next 1 week. Awesome.
amazing. You're welcome. I'll send my invoice later. Yeah, just kidding. So
Go for it.
yeah.
Go for it.
So this is an example of how you can use this practically to help with your content. This is how AI can be used practically for what you're doing for your business. And this is just one example out of many, right? Using AI to get demo angles. Another example here is using AI to get ad copy and hooks. Now, I won't go into this practically because we need to round up, and I still have operations to talk about, but it's similar. The business problem here is you need to run an ad, but you don't know what to write, or you've been running the same copy for months. The manual way is you try to write something yourself, you hope it works, or you pay someone. Right. The AI way is you give AI your products. If you know your audience, you give AI your audience. If you don't know it, tell AI to look for an audience for that product and their pain points. You ask for multiple hook variations and also maybe multiple copies, and it's able to do that for you. Right. There's a prompt example here, that you can use to do that. Now let's move ahead to operations as we begin to conclude. Under operations, these are some functions you can use AI for in your business. You can use AI for drafting of SOP. SOP means standard operating procedure. So you can use AI to draft SOPs. You can use AI to draft summaries of meetings, weekly reports, customer service reply templates, spreadsheets, cleanup support, task delegation, internal communication drafts. You can use AI for any of these functions, right? These are operation functions. And the way to think about this is do not think about this based on just my lists. Think about it based on your operations in your business. What are the things you currently do? The reason why I gave these functions is not for it to be a limitation, but for it to give you an idea of how you should vividly think and say, in my business, this is what operations look like. Now, which of these my operation functions can I use AI for? I hope that's clear. So that you're not limiting yourself to what I'm putting here. It's a guide. The way I teach, I try to teach in a way that you should not learn from just me and just say, okay, I'll just stop where Fee stops. No, 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 that's not how it works, right? So in my class, you're going to think, you're going to do some mental work, all right, and come up with something that may even be beyond what I've shared. So we're going to just take one demo here, and the demo would be trying to use AI to convert, meeting notes to action points. Now, this is relatively quite popular, but we'll do it anyway. So the business problem here is that you had a meeting, everyone talked, nobody wrote down what was decided. 2 weeks later, nothing happened. The manual way is that you try and remember what was talked about in that meeting. You probably send a vague follow-up email, and then you hope that people do what they said they will do during the meeting. But the AI way is that you paste the either the rough notes that you took with your hand or the transcript. That's even the better way, the transcript of the meeting itself, and then you let AI to structure it, all right, and give you details. So this is an example prompt. Here are rough notes from a team meeting. You can paste the rough note there. Turn this into a clean summary with 5 sections: decisions made, action items, who's responsible for each item, deadlines, and risks or open questions. Format it so I can paste it into a WhatsApp group. Now, for us to do this, I'll take you this practical now. Let's go back to our screen. And I'm going to introduce Claude for the first time today because I like Claude. Or you know what, let's just use Perplexity because of time. But yeah, definitely you can use Claude
No,
for
no,
this, right?
let's use Claude. Let's use Claude. Sorry, I know the time is almost up because I feel
Okay.
like everyone's been talking about how they're migrating from
Oh yeah, Claude
GPT
is
to Claude
amazing.
and how Claude is so much better.
Claude is
So
amazing.
please let's just have a
Really
the
amazing. So
experience
so
of Claude.
all right, good. Awesome. So let's look at what Claude can do. So what I'm going to do with Claude is that so I'll do two things with Claude, right? First, I'm going to create a sample meeting, a meeting that did not happen, right? So that we can have an idea of what, the meeting transcript can look like. So I'm going to say, create a a fictional meeting between the founder of Melanin Treasures and um her new digital marketing manager. Let me give the person a name. Let's say her name is Ade Bimpe, for example, right? The meeting should talk about strategy and have plans deliberated upon for action. Give me the transcript of this fictional meeting. Full transcript of this fictional meeting, including any mistakes or messy details. So I'm just trying to make it as real as possible. So I'll have Claude first of all work on this. Claude almost always creates a document. I think that's fine. I'm just send this. So it's going to think about this and it's going to work on, can see it's thinking right now. It's going to create this. Can I see this? So this is an internal meeting. Oh, it made it a physical meeting. Um, by the way, it gave you Chisom. I did not do a research. I didn't ask you to do a research. If I had added there, and this is the interesting part. So if I had added here that I should do a research about melanin treasures, it would have done that just by not adding that, you know. And interestingly, do you know that I really feel, let me try this. This is a fictional thing in my head, by the way. I'm just trying it in class here. Because Claude has a model called Opus. I switched down to Sonnet because this is a pro version. I want that people are not thinking that if they don't have a pro, they can't use it, right? So that's why I use Sonnet for the example. But I feel, I don't know, I'm not sure about it. Let me try it. But I feel that Opus would have looked for that for me by itself. But let me just try. If it doesn't look for it, that means my feeling was not correct. But sometimes it does that, right? So, but let's go back here. So this is the meeting. Um,
Your
you can see how
demonstration.
interesting this is. So, okay, so Bimpe, welcome. Officially, I know we did the whole HR thing last week, but this is the real welcome. This is where we actually talk. And then Bimpe will say, thank you, Ma. I'm really excited to be here. Then what did Chisom say? Can you see this? Don't
Wow.
call me Ma, please. I'm 34. Call me Chisom or Chi. Either one is. And this is where Claude excels. Claude is good in writing. I can assure you almost 100% that if I put the same prompts on most of these tools, it won't be this realistic, right? Can you see? Like the transcript here is almost, it's almost like you're seeing the meeting happen. Can you
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
So this is how real this is. Let me see. By the way, this one is already, this Opus, this is a higher model of Claude. It's already trying to create an entire document. And I don't even know if it's did the research I wanted, but is you can see it's coding. That's the thing with the higher model. They just go out there and start doing what they like. But it's fine. Let's leave the higher model to be doing this thing. But we have a transcript at least. Wait, the transcript is still going on. Hey, Claude is always an overdoer. That's why people talk about it a lot. Claude is an overdoer.
I can
If you
see why.
tell
Yeah, it's so popular. Like it's really,
Yeah,
creating an entire elaborate.
exactly. Exactly. It has even gone, I can see it has added action. I didn't send you this one. Claude is not naturally an overdoer. That's the thing. So I'm just going to copy this transcript. I'll open a Google Doc and I'll put that transcript inside of it. Um, I'll paste it here. I'll remove some parts of it. I don't want it to give me action points. I'll remove this. Uh, and yeah, I can leave the rest. So I'm going to save this Melanin Treasures marketing meeting. Here's the transcript. By the way, when you want to save, if you're saving something for AI and you're using Google Docs, recommendation is that you should save it as a markdown format, all right? As a markdown format, because from research, that's a format that AI can easily, it can understand all formats to be fair. So do not, if you're already saving as document or as PDF or as a text or any of those things, it's still fine. You can still use it, right? It's just, I did a Google search at a point and I asked, what documents formats, right, is best for AI. And you can see what's the answer. Can you see this? I see my screen.
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay.
It's
So
marked
yeah, so
down.
Markdown is the top choice. Then after Markdown, plain text is the next. Then before JSON, before CSS, you can see that PDF and all these other ones they even tell you to avoid it. Now AI can scan them, but it just takes more tokens, takes more time, takes more energy. So if you want to save it in the most easy way for AI to access without so much stress, save it as Markdown. I hope you've learned, everybody has learned something new. So yeah, so definitely save it as a Markdown document. We're going to save it as Markdown here. Marketing meeting. It doesn't come up here. Let me try that again. Okay, yeah, this is it. So now, good. So I've saved it as a Markdown document. You can imagine that my Opus is still creating this thing till now. But let's just continue. I'm now going to go to, I'll open another Claude instance, and then I'll give Claude this document. Then I'll put the prompts that was on my slide. I'll just copy that prompt and I'll paste it here. And the prompt is here. I'll change this from here, the rough modes. So here is the transcript from a team meeting. I'll remove the paste them here. Turn this into a clean summary with 5 sections. This is formatted so I can paste it into a WhatsApp group or email if I want it this way. If I want it this way, let me just leave it this way. It will be very summarized if I do it this way, but it's fine. I'll change this back to Sonnet. Why am I changing to Sonnet? So that anybody can use it. A free chat Claude does not have Opus, right? Which is the more higher model, right? So let me use Sonnet. Everybody has Sonnet. So I'll use Sonnet for this. So it's going to, do it research to read the meeting transcript. You can see it's reading the transcript right now. This one is still working. Interesting. All right. Oh my God, it's already 9. Interesting. Time flies. So it's reading the transcript right now. And this is the clean meeting summary. As you can see, these are the decisions made. I asked it to give me decisions made, action items, which responded for each deadlines and this. So these are decisions made, these are the actions items with the people responsible here, and then the deadline. So it has brought out everything. The risk, it has even added some of the other things I did not say. Did I ask it for this? Okay, there's risk and open questions here. So yeah, so risk and open questions is this. Nkechi stepped out for 3 or 4 minutes during the WhatsApp automation discussion. All right. Meta add data integrity. These are some risks from the entire meeting that was there. So this is an example of one way AI can help with your operations. It can help you with things like meetings. Let me see if this is finally. Oh my God, it's finally ready. So Opus has finally created its own version of the meeting. Can you see how Opus is starting? Good morning, man. Sorry, I'm a bit late. The Uber driver just, how Ted Milan Bridge is on a Thursday. You can see how real this
Yeah,
thing
it is
is.
actually.
Super, super real. All right, good. So now we're rounding up. But this is an example, and yeah, so just look at how AI can help you even with your own operations. Another demo I was going to do was creating SOPs, but I won't be able to go into this now. We're out of time. You can use AI to create SOPs using this prompt example. So in conclusion, you do not need 12 tools, right? You need one tool, you need one function, you need one prompt. Start from there. Don't try and use AI for every part of your business at the same time. Start with one function, one pillar. Do you want to improve product? Do you want to improve marketing? Do you want to improve operations? Start with one pillar Then under that pillar, start with one function under that pillar, then build from there. That's how to get the best out of AI. And like I always say, make AI work for you. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for having me.
Yeah, no, that was really brilliant. Thank you so much, Fee. So before I know we're rounding up because we're out of time, but one question I really wanted to ask, because I really enjoyed your presentation and I learned a lot. I'm actually going to do more in Perplexity and Claude. I'm a loyal chat GPTist, if that's a thing, because I feel like it's very simple, it's easy to use, and there's an intimidation factor for me when it
Mhm.
comes to the other platforms. But I'm definitely going to, seeing you do the demonstration has made it seem more accessible. So I'm definitely going to try it out. But I want to know if you think it's important to actually go for the paid plans, because I know that, for example, with Claude, I know that Claude Co-work, which I think is the paid plan, is a lot more in depth and you can get a lot more out of it than just the free version. And then with ChatGPT, I'm on ChatGPT Pro, and I know that I'm able to generate a lot more images for flyers and for carousels for social media than the free plan, which just lets you do a couple and then it tells you, oh, you have to wait until it resets, the following day. So yeah, what are your thoughts on like the free plan versus the paid version? How should business owners think and budget when planning to use these AI tools?
Yeah. So I would recommend that you have at least one pro account on one of the tools. If I'm to recommend, I'll say have it on ChatGPT. And I'll tell you why. The free version of Claude is also super powerful, very powerful. Free version is very powerful. But for ChatGPT to get, because I really love ChatGPT 5.4. Now I have access to the pro version. I just most times when I'm teaching, I use free versions to teach so that those that are learning would not think that, oh, okay, it's because he's using a pro account, that's why he's able to do this. No, I try to use the freest version of all these things, right? But if I would say have at least one paid account, maybe you can have a paid account with ChatGPT. For the other tools, it's okay to use free for now. Except while you're using free for a while, you then see that, oh, maybe this is something I want to add. You can try it out for a month. I would say if I'm to recommend one paid, do ChatGPT paid right now. I would not have made this recommendation like 5 months ago, but you see ChatGPT 5.4, the extended thinking version, it is good. It is really good. It is really good. So I recommend the paid version of ChatGPT. And then because of the multi things it's able to do, and then free for the rest. If you want to add another page, you can do Claude. After Claude, you can do Gemini before you do ChatGPT. Sorry, before you do Perplexity.
Okay.
Yeah, so that works.
Thank you so much, Fee. I really enjoyed this class. I'm sure everyone who's going to watch will really get a lot of value out of it. So, how can they connect with you to learn further? Could you give us some information on how we can join the AI Literacy Academy, which is your AI Academy?
All right, yeah, definitely. So we first you can connect with me personally on Instagram. My name is Fii Stephens, everywhere. You can check me out on Facebook, on Instagram, literally anywhere any of the social media platforms, I most likely will be doing something around there. And yeah, definitely you can connect with me there. But if you want to learn further about artificial intelligence, I would definitely recommend that you join the AI Literacy Academy. So I'm just sharing my screen now. The Airspace Academy is a 30-day online school where you get to learn AI skills for your workplace and business. So whether you're a business owner or you work inside of a business, right? Definitely you need to learn how to use AI professionally. There's a general usage of AI that a lot of people do, which is like fun usage, and you just try double into things here and there. But if you want a structured way to use AI that you can see the results, you can literally measure and say that, oh, this is how I started, this is how I am right now. Definitely this is structured learning for you in the academy. It is currently the price is around 48,375 naira. But it's nothing compared to the value you're getting. You're getting lessons every day for 30 days, pre-recorded lesson during the week. You're having a live class with me, 1 to 2 hours, something like this every weekend, every Saturday from 8 p.m. So around 9:30, 10 p.m. thereabouts. We are going deep. We're teaching something new. We're learning something literally every single day. And then there's a community. You're learning with a community. You're getting little bonuses, prompt templates, and things like that. It's a very brilliant place. And we've seen quite a number of people come out of the academy, and now they are building stuff with AI. They're building actual tools for their business. They are making more money. They're just doing quite a number of things that they would normally not have been able to do if they are not going through the academy. So www.ailiteracyacademy.org is a place to get access to that. Right. Yeah. So that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Fee, for making the time to take us through the class. Like you've reignited my interest. Like I said, for other AI tools, Perplexity in particular looks amazing. I'm going to take my time to really go into that and to learn more. So best of luck with everything, especially the AI Literacy Academy. And again, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.